Lore Boys here. The internet's #1 game you've never played podcast is back with more of what you need. My name is Peter O'Donohue, and I'm sneaking back into the country I was born in. Helping me cross the border illegally today are
I got a catapult. I'm Ethan.
James Miller is me.
good. Thank you. So today's episode about Hell Is Us, my silver medal game of the year for 2025, was not requested by anyone on the Discord server. I just really like the game, and I think you should too. So that was that.
What's your number one? Expedition?
Indiana Jones.
Jones, the Great
Oh,
Circle. Okay.
That was a great game.
Because I wasn't expecting that game to be fantastic. I knew I was going to like Hell Is Us. It was made in a laboratory for me specifically, which is why no one else on Earth has ever played it. But Indiana Jones blew my hair back because I was like, how good could a licensed game about Indiana Jones possibly be? And
In
at
2026.
every turn, it was just like, damn, that's great. Damn, that's great. Damn, that's great. And then Hell Is Us was perfect, but I wasn't like, it wasn't more perfect than I had already expected, right? Like they sampled my DNA, they made a game for me, and I got exactly what I wanted. So I think it's just my reaction to it. But
The Indiana
What is
Jones.
Hell Is Us?
I still call my girlfriend Pal thanks to that game because he called so many people Pal. Yeah. What is Hell Is
I'll
Us?
knock out a Nazi and throw him off the roof. He'll just be like, have a safe trip, pal. I'm like, hell yeah. And then bronze medal, I think Avowed. I really, really liked as well. So that was
That
my
was a good one.
top 3 last year. Normally, this is where I'd ask you guys if you have any experience with the topic, but I know for a fact neither of you have played the game.
We both just asked what it is. Because you
Yeah.
have gushed about it a lot, and
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's like a third-person action game, right?
Yeah, I will. There's a little bit of setup in a second here. But first thing, I do want to flex a little bit. I'm fairly certain. I did not go back and check what I claimed in the Blasphemous episodes, but I can guarantee that if I did any Googling on those ones, the Hell Is Us one, this is my first zero wiki game episode ever. Everything. Just my own screenshots, my own footage, reading information off my own collectibles. Like I Vadi videoed the whole thing, put things together on my own. Thankfully, if you complete a collectible collection in game, your traveling companion in game is a journalist who I'll talk about. She's one of the major characters. You just unlock an article by her, an in-universe article by this journalist you're traveling with, which is just a fucking lore dump. Like they just dared us to podcast about it. I was like, guys, this is great. I started a new game too to redo the intro. I've been trying to go back and like get collectibles on my completed game, but it's one of the appeals to the game is the fact there's no map and no objectives. So figuring out, especially I haven't played since last fall. I've been playing other stuff, right? So after 4 months, I'm just like, I don't know any of this. I couldn't tell you where I've been. I beat the game, I know that, and that's it. So I'm just like, this is fucking impossible. So I just started a fresh game on the hardest difficulty to get another playthrough done there. So I'm like having a great time. Also, new screen, fucking higher resolution, higher frame rate. The game is gorgeous. It's incredible.
Gorge. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, all done by yours truly. So Hell Is Us is a decently challenging Souls-like with an incredible art style and a very interesting setting. It's all set within the country of Hadia, which is public domain Eastern Europe in the distant past of 1993. So it's a very Balkan, maybe even Ukraine or Yugoslavia or Georgia. I think there was like a NATO war in Georgia in the 90s, like when we were young. It's just that's the theme of the setting is just some miserable ex-Soviet state that NATO, the UN, and Russia are constantly kind of interfering with. All the countries involved here are made up, but that is the vibe.
But yeah. But are they really,
Yeah, exactly.
Legally distinct.
Legally distinct. I do have a map of the country right here for my completed game with all the locations you can get to. So this will be for you guys and the patrons.
Arugula. Johanna. Umbreon.
Mysteria.
Yeah. Lake Sinon. It's one of my favorite things is I never finished Ace Combat. I love it when people make up a fake country because all country names are just fucking made up. But the fake ones just always come off as fake just because I guess it's because we're so used to just like it's just called Canada, which isn't really that different than Hadia. But like Hadia sounds goofy. It's a goofy fantasy setting. Right?
Yeah. The borderlines don't even really exist. If you go there, there's no dotted line.
I don't know.
There should be one on the ground there.
Yeah.
So the game is framed as what the protagonist, the player character Remy, tells this weird gooey fat guy he's being interrogated by. And when you get killed in game, there is the classic, "Okay, you didn't die. Start over from your last checkpoint," like voice line,
Okay.
basically,
Ah.
which is very funny. It's a cliche, obviously. I love it. Um, you're being interrogated by this fella here. So this is Remy,
All right.
and the unnamed guy
This
interrogating
is
you.
Remy? Okay,
Yeah,
sorry. That's you. Okay, I thought the first picture you were saying you were because you said you're being interrogated by this guy and then you posted yourself.
pardon me.
Uh,
Yeah.
but I was just like, why'd you call that guy fat? Because first you said a fat guy, and I was like, that seems like it feels like unnecessary to describe him as that. But then you posted the second guy, and he is a caricature of a of a corpulent man,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He looks like a southern lawyer with a bolo tie, and he does have like an enormous inflated like saggy frog chin,
Yeah, like a
and
goiter, yeah.
yeah, and his skin is completely pale white, basically.
Mhm.
He looks like something from
Um,
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, he looks like Slimer.
Yeah.
oh yes, he does. Yeah, he does look like
Or the
Slimer,
Michelin, or
mounted
the
on a
Michelin
human
Man,
body
or
though.
Mr. Stay Puffed.
Yeah.
You hear he got his
So
doctorate? It's Doctor Stay Puffed now.
really, congratulations to him.
Mhm.
Oh, look at
Marshmallow a day.
that. So the interrogator, I'm fairly certain he goes unnamed throughout the game. I did not 100% the game, so I do not have all the collectibles. I'm fairly certain this guy is named Mr. Dagon, because one, big old frog neck, very creepy, kind of subtly mutated looking guy, and
Mhm.
also one of the collectibles I do have here is from the what is it, the
Is
Zurich Summit? What did I write down
is he
here?
ever trying
Yeah,
to
excuse me.
open fiery gates to the plane of oblivion by any chance?
Oh yeah, like it's not Mayroon, maybe Mayroon's Dagon as well. I was thinking Fish Dagon from Lovecraft.
Oh, okay.
But there is this photo here in game. One of the collectibles I did find is a photo from the Zurich Summit in 1962. Hadia had spent much of its history self-isolating, but in the 60s they started to like speak to the United States and like other like international countries, which is a choice that countries have made and has never ever gone badly, is to open up your borders to the U.S. and international markets.
Yeah.
But the only character in this photo who is smoking is right next to former President JFK on the far right,
Mhm.
and the interrogator is smoking in every single cutscene that he is in. He's smoking throughout the entire interrogation when it cuts back to him.
Ah, a little
So
hint.
I was just kind of baking crumbs. I was like, I think this is Mr. Dagon, head of Dagon Industries. And throughout the game, you do find out that the interrogator has interests in the enemies that you fight in the game and some of the supernatural bullshit.
I wish we get a bigger. His flat brim hat is really really blocking his face on us here. I'll say enhance.
Yes. Yeah, this is just from the intro when I started a new game. You
He's
can't
he's
rewatch the
not wearing a
cutscenes.
bolo next to Mr. Kennedy. I'll say that much. But he is
His
smoking.
fashion changed over the past. I mean, in this case here, it's about 31 years. The game is set in 1993,
Okay.
the distant future of.
Mhm. Sci-fi
Yeah,
future.
and then another interesting thing here is that when at the beginning of the interrogation, who I think is Mr. Dagon, does put over Remy's file where you get his full name and the fact he has like Canadian citizenship and is bilingual. The game is made
Nice.
in Montreal and the kind of does have a lot of very French Canadian references throughout the game. Not only the fact his name is Remy, R-E with an accent M-I, which is a common enough French Canadian name.
Yeah, it's a French name for sure.
Yeah.
He's Canadian Armed Forces.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
cool.
So he was born on May 19th, 1960 in Haiti. However, he was smuggled out of the country by his mother when he was young. He then entered the foster care system in Canada, where he learned both English and French, and then dabbled in some crime like carjacking and assault. He then joined the Canadian Special Forces and then the UN, baby. The in-universe UN is called the ON. I don't know what the O stands for. I completely neglected to look it up. So,
United.
oh yeah, the United Nations, but
The
they do still
Ontario
wear
Nations. Made up word.
the very
Uh,
familiar blue helmet with the white text. So you do see, and I think they use it like the identical logo. They just changed it to ON. So I have tons
okay.
of photos from this one here.
So the The interrogation's happening after the fact, 2 years after the fact, in 95 then, right?
I don't know when the interrogation is happening.
I'm telling
Spoilers,
you.
you
I'm
get
telling you.
arrested at the
It's
end of the
happening
game.
it's happening 2 years after, in 95. Because in the file that you sent me, it says date of birth 1960, age 35. That's 1995 puts us in.
Interesting.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I didn't read all the text. Thank you, Ethan. Thanks for pulling up the clip there. Because the game, all the
Yeah.
articles in game, everything in your discussions with the journalist, Tanya, I have her full name here somewhere, are dated 1993, and it is the game is set specifically on I believe it starts on the 27th of
Yeah.
January, 3
Okay.
weeks after the monsters return on New Year's Day, 1993.
Monster? What are you talking about, monster?
Police interrogations really are unethical, huh? It's like after the first year and a half, the witness really starts to crack. Once we get to that
Yeah.
2-year mark,
Yeah.
just keep them in that chair.
Remy is clearly hooked up to like an old sat phone with an IV drip attached to it or something.
They are putting truth serum into him as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's so funny. He's like filling him with truth serum. And at some point during the story, because like, it's not a particularly hard game, but like you get killed. It's just like, yeah, anyway, I went and I found some relics under the old church to Setherus. And oh, yeah, and by the way, I fucking died. It's just like, I don't think you did. Yeah, fucked up one of my
Stenographer
parries and got
stops
killed.
typing to like look at the boss like, huh? Do I write that down? Like,
No, don't write that down, you fucking idiot.
you guys want to see a bug?
Wow, that's a bug.
What kind of bug is that?
It's a beetle.
Box elder beetle.
Cool.
That's a beetle.
How's that get in?
The main character of this game, maybe it's just the one picture you sent us. Remy, kind of. If there's a movie, it would be Jesse Eisenberg.
He's kind of funny looking. Yeah. He's not a classically handsome guy. He's very normal looking, which I find interesting.
Yeah, both of them are, I'd say. The Frogman and Jesse Eisenberg.
So the in-game ON is very visibly just as helpful as the real UN, as Hadia is in the midst of a full-blown genocidal civil war at the time of the game. Some places are on fire, and some places are just totally bombed out. I do recommend the game, but it is one of the few games I would like. The only time I would put a content warning. All the violence is implied. You never have to kill a human being. I don't think you even see humans kill each other. Like a couple people get killed in cutscenes by like the monsters. But the implied violence of like what actually happens during a brutal like a religious civil war is fucking insane. Like they have like fully modeled dead kids in some areas, which is just an absolutely wild choice. But I mean, that's war, right? That's the way things happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that there's a content warning at the beginning of the game. I am confirming that it didn't bug me, but like if you're gonna pick this game up and maybe you're sensitive to stuff like that, it's fucking wild. So
yeah, that's how it bumped it from bronze to silver was the dead kids, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there were no dead kids in Avowed, so gotta do what you gotta do.
But there were dead manic pixie girls, so you know.
Unfortunately, she survived the end of my game. A little pink cat thing, the horny cat thing that just wants to bang its husband. Every enemy in the game they're essentially ghosts or demons. They have different names throughout the game. It's the only thing you fight and kill. Are just all monsters. There is no blood in combat. There's blood in cutscenes, and like obviously all the dead civilians are covered in blood. But the combat is not nearly as violent as everything that is implied to have happened before you get there.
Okay.
So the region that would become become Hadia, had been home to human beings for in and around 10,000 years. Like I was saying earlier, the game has a fantastic collectible system, especially for podcast hosts. One section of the collectibles is just called Ancient Hadia. And the descriptor on every little relic you find gives you 3 paragraphs with a fucking date too, of just like, yeah, well, this archaeologist found this and dated it to 7,000 BC. I'm just like, guys, my job is done for me. This is incredible. These guys are in Montreal, and it's not impossible that someone at the studio is like a degree of separation from us. Maybe not listen to our show, but like we know enough people in the city.
It's almost guaranteed. Jamie and I both work in video games. Like,
Yeah.
well, that's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the ancient Hadia one is great. Like I'm probably missing like 1 or 2 collectibles from this because there's a little progress bar in your collectible thing, and it's almost full. And I think I have like 4 or 5. There's got to be 1 or 2 left. I'm just like, it's too bad I couldn't fucking find it just to fill out the ancient Hades section. So apologies out there to anybody listening. I do not have
Yeah, to all the
all of the
ancient
answers.
historians out there listening, we're
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly. Yeah. All those pseudo
Content warning.
archaeologists talking about how Haiti is older than we thought it was. Okay,
Yeah.
bullshit.
Hadia Gartha
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, all of the enemies in the game are just like pale white ghosts, so they'd fit right in.
with blonde hair and blue eyes, drinking white monster. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that's that. So the in-game articles that I had mentioned earlier, written by the journalist, her full name is Tanya Alver, are just lore dumps. They are fucking incredible. I fully unlocked one, and only used parts of it because it's like straight up like it would be a multi-page article about the history relevant to that section. It's a really cool thing that they did for it because they made up this whole world and just some lore master or team of lore masters just put this stuff all together just for people who think that it's such a cool visually striking setting with like it's got such a good atmosphere that like reading about this stuff in game was like some of the most fun I've had putting an episode together. It's just again, this is all me. I googled a couple things for typos just to make sure I was spelling things correctly because
Okay.
it's just quicker than relaunching the fucking game and loading a save and going into the
Yeah.
menu. Yeah. The oldest collectible that I found from the ancient Hadia section was a pottery fragment from, like I'd mentioned, 7000 BC, showing a giant spherical object known as the Eye of God being worshipped by multiple people on Mount Obek, which is just maybe the highest peak in Hadia, but it is a very large mountain within the borders of Hadia. And I
Okay.
do have a screenshot of it as well for everybody. Here it
Ancient
is.
Hadeans only discovered the sun 7,000 years ago. That's kind of
Look, they were
embarrassing. Like,
savages. Obviously, they're just
oh,
they're just like
that's a weird looking sun. What the hell?
It's a
it's underground too, so it's very anti-sun. I'm not really certain there.
it's a manta ray in a
Anti-sun
sphere.
mom.
Yeah, maybe I haven't found the collectible explaining why the sun's underground, Ethan. I don't fucking know. In a year, if I can 100% the game, I'll circle back to this one.
Let us know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
It is sort of manta ray in a sphere, like Jamie was saying. It's kind of like it is like a spooky ghost, kind of going like woo and
Yeah.
flying
yeah,
towards you with its arms out on the
Lots
bottom
of
of a sphere.
dark textures like grays and whites and blacks, and it's very spooky.
This
it's
sun
also
looks
just like a
like
giant
moon.
white orb underground that is clearly larger than a building.
Mhm.
It's massive. So the people at this time, the ancient Hadeans, are called the Hassalan culture. And while a pottery fragment doesn't really tell anybody how they first encountered the eye, or like whether it showed up from space, or if they just fucking found the thing, it does line up historically where the formerly polytheistic, more pagan Hassalan people started becoming monotheistic. I'm fairly agnostic or even atheist, but like if one afternoon me and my other dirt farming friends found a gigantic orb inside of a mountain, I'm not
Yeah.
making goat sacrifices to bring spring back anymore or anything shit like that. Like the
Yeah.
orb
No.
is has got it.
Show me a sign. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
everyone.
Mhm.
You see a
I hope
sign?
my grandparents are
Just
with the orb, formally coming out of
yeah.
orb worship.
For some people, it's seeing an orb in your toast. You know what I mean? For other people, they gotta touch the orb. They gotta get crushed by the orb. You know,
Yeah.
before they'll believe.
Yeah. Perfectly circular burns in toast, like this
Yeah.
Latina lady on the news
Yeah.
talking about how she saw his face.
It's 3D. It's like a sphere.
I was thinking something sillier, like someone just put a slice of bologna on bread and was like,
Oh
yeah.
my god, mom, come in, come see.
I wish I could remember what it was from, but I remember news stories like that of people seeing Jesus in things. And the core memory of mine that maybe I saw in the news or in a documentary or something is this wonderful little like Latino woman who was just like, "Oh, I saw his face. He's so perfect. He came to me like pointing at I think it was like the ring pattern in her wooden door." She
Yeah.
suddenly
Yeah.
thought Jesus looked like Jesus, and now she has
Mhm.
the door. She's like, it's you, Lord. I wish I could remember that. Anyway,
I wish I could
the
believe that
orb.
much. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
I wish I could believe that much. I wish I could find peace in the way that lady could in a door.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just whirls on wood. You know,
Yeah, exactly. It must be so nice for your life to
must
be
be nice.
that
Yeah.
fucking simple. I have
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
I have to like have conscious thought multiple times a day instead. That's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
Is there
Finding
life after death? Jesus is on my door. I'm good. All right.
Yeah.
I'm good.
finding peace in worlds on wood. That's just reading a good book, you know.
Wait a minute.
Very
I don't
nice.
like
Yeah.
Very nice.
the good book. You're saying,
Yes, that's of course what I
Mm,
mean.
yeah.
Praise Jesus.
I can see. You see the Bible and the swirls on your door. It's just like text.
Yeah.
So worship of the orb or the shift to monotheism didn't happen all at once. The Hassalan people referred to it as Setharis, and it took thousands of years to kind of organize around worship of the orb. It only really started to take hold around 3000 BC. The religion of, I think Setharism is how it's pronounced, is still around in the 90s, which I'm emphasizing that now as if we haven't been talking about Jesus and the door, which is a 2,000-year-old thing. So, like, honestly,
Yeah.
religion lasting that long, not that fantastical,
Yeah.
frankly.
It's that's around the time that Seth MacFarlaneism started too, right?
Yeah, I was
Mm.
watching Family Guy clips with my lady this weekend. It's still funny.
Mhm.
I saw Peter Griffin at my door when I woke up
Yeah.
this morning.
Yeah, that's the creak of the door.
into a door.
Yeah, when you
Instead of amen.
yeah.
Off the door. I was thinking of people in pews in a church, and you know
Mhm.
how like every kind of like quietly solemn goes like amen at the end of a prayer or something, but you've got just like a solemn like that like resonates throughout like a church on Sunday.
There's a door somewhere out there that makes that sound when you try and close it when the hinges
Mhm.
creak. Yeah.
Honestly, in the summer, when my house shifts just a little bit, my bathroom door. I'm gonna listen for it this summer when things start to warm up a bit, Jamie. And then you can come over and say a prayer to my bathroom door whenever you want. Frankly,
Good.
You
Peter
gotta
Griffin.
start your mission, Pete. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring my door to the Sentinelese cannibals and just get shot to death with arrows in the middle of the ocean, like that island.
Who's the devil? The chicken that Peter's always fighting? I'm sorry, my Family Guy references are gonna be old because I watched it when I was when I was 13, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean maybe it's like a Judas Iscariot sort of character. Maybe not the devil himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. So around 3000 BC. During this time, as far as I'm aware, the 7 Hassalan tribes mostly unified and became the Illigad Conclave. Each tribe was given a bronze censer, which is the collectible that I have that gives the date 3000 BC. And all the tribes mixed their local incenses together and burned them within the censers. They all brought their own spices and whatnot, all of their different things. They did their ritual. And that's how they kind of unified. This was the politics of the time. This is not unheard of. I know there was like the Algonquin or the Iroquois Confederacy in the Americas. Like there's a huge unification of native tribes that would all work together in like New England and Canada and like Quebec and Ontario.
Over the
But what is
dotted
now?
line?
Yeah.
They had different dotted lines, surprisingly, and then the British came in.
No.
We're just like,
I can be.
these dotted lines are shit. We don't like them, so we're gonna change them, and nothing will go wrong.
Those dotted lines are older than the rings of Saturn. Fun fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
No, it's the
Big
states.
trees.
It helped them build the wall. Actually, they only had to build half the wall in between the dots. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because Torrance, you can't jump over a dotted line. Not that it's illegal. I neglected to take a picture of the sensor. Just imagine a bronze sensor. I'm sure you can, or fucking check your door. It's right there. So I did bury the lead a little bit there. When I say mostly unified, there is actually evidence of an 8th tribe who worship the twin-headed serpent Tear. There is a massive snake carved into the side of a mountain. I don't remember if it's Mount Obeck or anything like that, but it's got like a locked door on it, and like towards the end of the game, you circle back, kind of Metroidvania style, unlock the door, and then there's like 2/3 of the fucking level are all after this, which is pretty cool. A lot of the areas open up after you find keys and shit from other places.
Okay. And
Um,
that's they worship Tear, Parker, and Matt Stone, right?
yes, exactly. Yeah, good. I'm glad you're keeping up.
Mhm.
Um, within the ancient Hadia file, I have a vase. It's called the Vase of the Eighth Tribe, and it depicts worshippers wreathed by their snake god, who are the twin-headed snake is, I believe, referred to as the devil compared to Setherus. So this is kind of the early makings of religious wars that would consume Hadia for the next 5,000 years, unfortunately.
Okay.
Right up until they started talking to JFK, and things went fucking swimmingly after that, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Once
yeah.
they
He
got
was really good at keeping his
the U.S.
promises.
involved, yeah,
Yeah.
things always go better.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, hey, JFK is going to be around for a while to keep his promises, and he won't just be randomly replaced by a guy who has completely different politics, will he? For no reason at all? That would be crazy. Yeah, part of the ancient Hadia collectibles is like you find something called the magic bullet or whatever. It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
this is nonsense.
Just
um,
a carved stone statue. It's just Henry Kissinger's face, like big eyes behind his little spectacles, looking at this little talisman. That's where you got to loot it
Mr.
from.
Dagon is not dissimilar from an elderly
From
Henry
Kissinger.
Kissinger who did get
Yeah.
very frog-like in his old age before,
Mhm.
mashallah, he
Definitely,
passed away.
It's
definitely
Frogmaxxing.
give it a bit of.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a French game. This entire episode is Frogmaxxing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
The vase is dated around 2000 BC. So, like, they were still considered, the Eighth Tribe is still considered heretical within, like, after a millennia of Setherism here. And it is, I find, quite funny that the people who worship the terrifying building-sized orb that they discovered inside a mountain, or maybe it came from space, I don't fucking know. And they're just like, these guys worship a snake. That's evil.
That's evil. A snake with two heads. A snake with one head is bad enough.
Yeah, exactly. So over the millennia, the religion changed. Excuse me. I forgot how to read today. People apparently neglected to document or write down that the Eye of God was like a real thing located within Mount Obek in Hadia, because in the 600s AD, a group known as the Guild of Lucidity dug up some like scary ass obelisk at a holy site that they were worshiping at, and it just had a map on it that depicted the location of the Eye of God. So the map on it led to
Cool.
what they called the rediscovery of the Eye, and then also led to the rebranding of the guild to the Order of the Eye. I think it's quite funny. This is like if, I mean, I guess now that I'm about to say it, like during the Crusades, if the Pope just claimed to have rediscovered the Middle East. It's just like, it seems like a
Yeah.
thing that you would remember where the Holy Land is. Where's
We
your
found it.
fucking orb?
We found it.
Right?
We're clearly divine. We found it. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they
Of
rebrand
all the
from
things to
the.
lose track of, a mountain-sized orb doesn't
I
feel
know.
like
Yeah.
them, right?
It's very silly. Yeah, exactly. You'd think between the year 3000 and 600 AD, you just stumbled upon it at some point, right?
Yeah, somebody would have.
Yeah, like 600 AD is very much like the early medieval times where people had like
Mhm.
politics and like cities and towns and society and shit. It's not like they're not like cavemen, right? With like pointed
Yeah.
sticks and
Ah,
shit.
there it is, between the couch cushions and the
Yeah.
remote. What a glorious day to be a worshiper of the orb.
20-kilometer tunnel in between your couch cushions just with this giant fucking orb. You're like, ah, look at that. Yeah, remind me where I left my keys on the obelisk at the holy site. Nah, don't write it down. Don't worry about that.
I'll remember. Yeah.
So now that the guild has rebranded to the Order of the Eye, they're going to become very important. Unfortunately, with the rediscovery of the Eye of Setherus, religious wars started to break out all over Hadia, and caused
No, come
such
on.
spectacular violence that certain violent acts became infinite domes of energy called time loops that spawned pale, unkillable monsters known as limbic enemies. That's like the nerd term for them. That's what the science boys, the eggheads, call them. We're not listening to those fucking losers.
The limbic
People
system
generally,
is like your fight or flight response in your
Thank
brain.
you.
Yeah.
I was googling it.
yes,
I was like, what does limbic mean?
Yeah.
exactly. So we
What do we
will
call
get
'em? Ghost
into the
boys?
link between intense emotion, time loops, and then obviously the cycle of violence here. I do have pictures for everybody of a time loop. It is a very big, scary dome, as well as some limbic enemies. as well as the inside of a time loop, because you do get to go inside of them.
Whoa, it is a big scary dome.
Yeah, exactly. And then the limbic enemies, these are two basic hollow walkers or limbic walkers, whatever you want to call them. Demons, some people say. They all basically they look like somebody in like one of those like latex onesie suits. But there's a hole in their chest and a hole in their head. They are like stark white, and they kind of shuffle around. They kind of move like dancers in some cases. They'll have different
Yeah, they look a
shapes.
little fluid here.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
it's pretty cool.
they're crossing over there, and it's like, are those do they have hands? They got their hands
They do.
like up, like they're doing like a clap, sort of like imagine like greasers in I was gonna say Rent, but not Rent. that musical where they're like walking and they're snapping their fingers and they're going. They're like the tough guys.
Grease?
That's the
Oh,
maybe
West Side
Grease,
Story.
yeah. West
Okay.
Side Story. That's the one that I was thinking of. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Uh,
West
West
Side
Side Story
Story.
is
that
also
vibe,
about the
but
cycle of violence and religious wars. If I
Yeah.
recall.
West Side Story has the Greasers, and Grease has the West Side Storyers or something. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, so that's a time loop, limbic enemies, all of that stuff. So these hollow shades can be possessed by crystallized forms of intense human emotions. They are rage, despair, ecstasy, and terror. Gameplay-wise, these are red magic, blue magic, yellow magic, and green magic.
Okay.
You can use all of these. So you do get to imbue your weapons with a particular emotion, should you so choose. There are also neutral spells that you can slot into any weapon. I'm not going to get too deep into the gameplay there. It's not a problem. It turns out to be kind of fun. These magics, these emotions are not fucking balanced whatsoever. Rage does so much fucking DPS and also has like a berserk passive where you can just like once you activate, or it's an active rather, with like once you activate the berserk glyph, you're just fucking you cannot be staggered. You regen health on every fucking hit, and you do like crazy DPS. And then despair, blue magic, is mostly like crowd control and like AoE damage over time, but it outscales the enemy health so fucking fast. In some cases, you can just lay down an AoE that lasts for 30 seconds and it will just evaporate everything around you. And then
Nice.
like
Good feeling,
ecstasy. It is a good feeling, especially in a Souls like when you have once you have a tier 3, which is the highest tier glyph slotted into your weapon, and then you go back to an earlier area because you've got a new item, lay down the AoE and just boil things alive. You're like, maybe the Holy War was worth it, honestly.
Yeah.
This is great. This feels great.
Yeah.
But yeah, like one of the things I wrote down here, it's basically rage and despair. It's like you have a Gryffindor, a Slytherin, and 2 Hufflepuffs as far as your school's magic go. They're just nobody gives a fuck about them. I mean, maybe I'll do like an ecstasy and terror playthrough on my new playthrough just to see what those are like. But yeah, rage and despair, fucking goated. And you can infuse any weapon in the game with any emotion you want as long as you have the crafting materials. So like rage does not have to be on the highest DPS weapon or like the fastest weapon. You can imbue any of the 4 weapon types with whatever emotion you want, which is cool. So there's one-handed sword, two-handed sword, twin axes, which are disgusting DPS wise, and then the halberd, which just has the longest range. It's one of very classic pokey weapon. I did twin axes and halberd personally were my choice.
Cool.
Yeah, so the Order of the Eye became pivotal in combating the limbic invasions, which is what we called it at first. Did anybody pull up the limbic system, by the way? Did you have any more you wanted to speak on that?
The amygdala. I haven't pulled it up. I just remember it from my psychology degree. We had talked about it a lot. Yeah.
Go off, Doc.
The amygdala is the part of the brain that's responsible for fight or flight, and that's the limbic system. It's like it'll give you stress stuff like cortisol and adrenaline and all that fun stuff.
Okay. Who's that jacked doctor? Andrew Huberman.
Okay.
He talks about cortisol all the time. He would hate this game.
Yeah.
He's a big stress and sleep guy. I was listening to him on a podcast and got about 2 hours in and I was like, I'm just going to switch to Kurt Metzger. He's crazy.
Yeah. Stress and sleep sounds like a lot of Monday to Fridays, huh?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Stress and staying up way later than you should, avoiding sleep at all costs so that you're too sleepy and get more stressed the next day.
That's
more like
right.
it for me, but you know.
Yeah.
One of my colleagues has been playing Dota 2 and openly admits playing Dota 2 until 4 in the morning nearly every day. And then when he gets to work, he complains about being frustrated and tired. I'm like,
Yeah.
girly pop, you need to go to sleep.
I do.
What are you?
I do work
What
with
are you?
one of the guys who reports it to me. He's like, "Yeah, I go to bed like 2, 3 every morning." I'm like, "I'm put like, I set our one-on-one for 10 in the morning, man, and like, you don't really need to be in for 9, but like by 10, you gotta kind of be rocking up, buddy." So
Yeah.
I'll be. You can just chat with me. You can warm up a little bit, and then we'll get going. But that's too
Yeah.
late, man. That's too late.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the Order of the Eye developed items called an Amine Prism, which, when carried to the center of a time loop, actually causes it to collapse. It is the only way to stop the limbic enemies from infinitely respawning. This is your Dark Souls resting on a bonfire. Every time you load a checkpoint, if the time loop is still active in the area, monsters come back. That's it.
Okay.
And they are
Until you
spawned
destroy the
directly
time loop.
from they're from a time loop, exactly. You have to
And
like
sorry,
hunt
how do you
down.
destroy the time loop?
You have to bring in a Amine Prism into the center of it. We are going to talk about that right now. So
A mean
like
prism?
this.
Are there also nice prisms, or
Uh,
they all mean
there's
ones?
4. I think there's 3 or 4 different types of prism. I'm sure some of them are nice prisms.
Okay, well, this is probably actually propaganda from the sphere people who are like, spheres, those are great and nice, but prisms, those are pretty mean, okay?
Those are pretty mean. Yes.
Yeah, why was it never a food sphere? They were always like, it's the food pyramid, you know?
Yeah.
Oh well, that's
Wait,
Illuminati
wait.
shit. They're just trying to get us to drink more milk and eat bread. That's my
Yeah.
theory. That's my Kurt Metzger off the
Jamie-
chain theory.
Jamie has a psychology degree, so he intimately understands Maslow's sphere of needs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hierarchy of needs. You know, one of my favorite things about Maslow's hierarchy of needs is sex is on the same level as food. Is that
Mhm.
you cannot survive if you do not fuck. You cannot move on to the next step. You got to get laid just as much as you got to have a sandwich. So everybody out there,
That's not true, though, you know?
well,
No.
Well-
It's not true, though, you know? Like, I'm not saying I'm smarter than Maslow. I don't know who he was, but like,
I've
that's not
gone
true,
longer
right?
than 3 days without sex several times in my life. Never died.
Yeah. Like,
Food,
right,
on
you
the
know.
other hand, right? And if I am
I get
a
what he's
little
saying, that it's
snacky,
very
I have
important.
never, tried to kill all my colleagues because I was a
No.
little bit hangry. But if I, it's like
No.
what no bitches does to a guy can be quite intense.
you
Yeah, it's
cannot
true.
have meaningful friendships or a good family structure unless you're fucking, is what he's saying. You got to fuck first, then
Okay.
go talk to your dad and call your best friend. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Listen up,
Gotcha.
virgins. You heard it here first.
Flip these. So there you go. Take a whiff, huh? That's the basis of all friendships, is what Maslow is saying.
Smell my finger.
Oh, gross.
Gross. Gross, and I wish I didn't do it, but here we are.
Yeah, you're right.
2026.
When your employee shows up at 10:45, still tired, not ready for your meeting, he's gonna just be like, "I saw something on the internet recently, Ethan. What I do outside of work is none of your fucking business, okay?"
Yeah, I got leverage.
I think sleep's on that level too. So he's not sleeping and not fucking. Damn.
Whoa.
Well, that'll kill you.
Yeah, that will kill you.
All right. So after a time loop is collapsed and you kill a limbic enemy, they remain dead. These prisms are still used by Remy in the 90s to close the time loops that appeared 3 weeks before the start of the game, like I was saying earlier. I think they also created, this is the order, I'm pretty sure they also created what is called the Limbic Forge at Lake Sinon, which allowed the smithing of limbic weapons. This is actually the only thing that can damage the ghosts coming from the time loops. In the intro cutscene, it's very funny. Remy has a gun, shoots at it, the bullets go right through the walker without harming it, and he's just like, "Oh fuck," and just throws the gun at it, which is a great little cutscene. It's my favorite thing when people get frustrated when a gun doesn't work, is to throw it as if that is going to hurt more than the bullets that didn't work.
The bullet, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it's like Dune. It's got to be slower moving, you know?
Oh,
Like the
that's
shields.
true. Yeah, maybe.
Mm,
Could be.
Yeah, I didn't hadn't
he's a
hadn't thought
Herbert
about
fan.
that. Yeah. So the first person to close a time loop was a member of the order named Realm Strago. I didn't take any screenshots. There's a bunch of like very cool looking like medieval art style paintings. You know those ones that are always just like, "Hey man, you know what a cat looks like, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." And
Yeah.
then obviously the painting
Yeah,
you have from
totally.
like a 6th century search is just like, this guy's never seen guy's never seen an animal, let alone a fucking cat, like sort of thing. Or like the crab with eyebrows is one of my favorite ones. It's just like, look, it's just like a very bad picture of a medieval crab. It's like, yeah, and its eyebrows are on fleek, right? It's like, yeah, of course. Did you find it? It was that easy.
I'll try and pull it up, but I don't know. I don't think I did.
Yeah.
So I thought we were just looking
at
Pete's video feed. That's what I thought we were doing. Like,
a lot of crabs with eyebrows. Yeah, I've got great crab eyebrows. But they're all crab based.
yeah.
So this actually, I did go get the screenshot before we started recording. This is the first Limbic Forge. Yes, there you go.
The first one you find. Oh yeah, contoured eyebrows. This is the first one you find in game, or this is like the original, the OG?
It is the only one you go to in game, but it is known as the first Limbic Forge. You can see the interaction prompt there that says scan. Your drone that you keep on your shoulder will translate the ancient Hadean language for you. And this is the site of the first Limbic Forge. This is where they crafted the first Limbic weapons, which are the very, if the game was more popular, iconic looking weapons from the game. Here's the sword, is the first one you get, and this is what the cutscene
like a sword.
gets. Yeah, it's a sword. It's got this very cool, like black, white, gray kind of gradient texture to it. They're very cool. They're very cool and weird looking. Again, very cool art style.
The leather
Oh, you get
poncho.
Skyrim puzzles in this game? What the hell? You didn't
It's
tell us there were
nothing
Skyrim
but Skyrim
puzzles.
puzzles. Yeah,
That's crazy.
there's so many.
The one with
15
the-
years after Skyrim came out.
The one with the dragon claw, where you have to line up the 3 images on the radial dial there. Yeah.
Yeah,
circles that you
unfortunately,
gotta
this
line
first
up.
puzzle involves
Puzzles for
reading.
toddlers. Okay.
Yeah. So I never got past this puzzle actually, because I'm illiterate, as we've established.
Right.
I had to listen to an audiobook with all the hints so I could beat the game. The limbic invasions or the appearance of time loops ended up being referred to as calamities. So I'm going to use that going forwards now. Strago agreed to sacrifice himself to successfully end the calamity. He was then later immortalized in the form of a religious artifact called the Idol of the Proto-Martyr. Great fucking title. Proto-Martyr just sounds great. This all happened prior to the forging of the first weapons, which, as far as I know, I may be missing a collectible with the exact date of when the first weapons were crafted, or if Strago was armed. Don't know. All I know is he had the prism, and he went to collapse a time loop that had been caused by religious violence. The Idol of Strago that I do have in game is dated from 708 AD, whereas evidence of the work on limbic weapons is from 717. And the project was headed by another member of the order named Calvin Modus. So this is actually the Modus Forge, or the Limbic Forge. One of the things I find really cool, this is from Real Archaeology, is evidence that anybody, like an ancient culture, had like any kind of metallurgy, any blacksmithing, is little metallic flakes that you can find in the dirt in like strata. So you dig that up and just like, oh, these guys had metallurgy in the year 800, because there's flakes in the dirt. Because every time, obviously, you strike a sword, anything you're forging out of metal, a little bit of it flakes off and then gets stamped into the dirt and then just stays there forever.
Blacksmith
That's how they
Yes.
I was gonna make a similar joke, but you got it.
Oh damn.
Okay, I'll do mine. That's how they discovered when Head and Shoulders was invented.
Yeah. Okay,
Right, in
okay.
717.
Good. We both got there.
Head and Shoulders gives me acne on my scalp. I used it once, and I had to throw the bottle away because like 3 consecutive showers, my scalp got more and more acne. Because my dad told me, and he used to work for Head and Shoulders, like one of the first jobs he got, like when I was probably like 6 months old. He's like, it has like a wax or something that coats your scalp, so it was just blocking my pores. And the wax is what holds down your dandruff. It doesn't stop it from going anywhere. It just glues it to your skull. And it was giving me acne on my hairline.
I have like very bad dry skin, and if I wear a lot of black t-shirts, if I didn't use Head and Shoulders, I would, you'd know. And I even use it on my face, because if I like,
I use it on my face too.
yeah, because I'll get like red like dry marks here, and if I use it on my face, it clears up right away. Because I think whatever's causing the dryness on my face is something that's living in my scalp. So I know when I'm not using it, it like makes a there's something in it
I
that
use it
kills
on
it.
my face because I use it to wash my hair because it's what we have in the shower.
Yeah.
And once I'm suds in my hair, I'm like, I'm just going down. You know, I'm just
Yeah.
like I'm just
What
migrating. I'm migrating south with that. That's the only
some
reason.
some dermatologists say, like, if you have a lot of flaky skin in like the nose area, to use dandruff shampoo because it's coming from your scalp too. So maybe that'll
I
help someone
don't
out there.
have flaky skin. I have a
Ah.
lot of blackheads on my nose, and so I gotta wash my nose in the shower. And
Mine
it
come
seems to
and
do a good
go.
job on
I had a
those.
bit of an outbreak recently.
Mm.
Interesting.
Huh.
Well, that's our skincare. Honestly, as gamer man, we are not defeating the 17-in-1 shampoo rumors.
Yeah.
I honestly think the fact that we're describing skincare routines at all means we're not beating the fake gamer allegations against
Oh,
us.
fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah. I wash my face and then I moisturize after the shower every time. Yeah. And that's all I
I
do.
used to moisturize my knuckles during the winter because I get lizard skin. This
Yeah.
winter, baby smooth, man. It's crazy. I don't know what's
I
going
don't
on.
moisturize, yeah.
It's
Not
nice.
at all.
Yeah. It's the fake gamer here. Sorry. Anyway, fake gamer here. Here's a game I made up because none of you have fucking played it. So let's go. So I don't have exact dates for anything like that. Oh, right. Sorry, the flakes. One of the collectibles I have is depleted limbic shards. So when the enemies are killed or damaged, like limbic shards shed off their bodies, which you can loot. It's an upgrade material. It's your Titanite for the Dark Souls lovers out there.
Okay.
And they found some depleted ones as a relic, which is like evidence of limbic smithing, which great detail. Love the real archaeology. Mini Minuteman would be proud. Come on the show, please, for the love of God. For our next Graham Hancock one, I got to get the boy on.
The sequel.
Milo, I love him. So I don't have exact dates for anything I'm about to mention, unfortunately. At some point, an organization of specialized knights was formed to collapse future time loops. Both of Remy's parents are or were members of the Vigil as of the 90s. They're both there. Your dad is also a limbic blacksmith. That's like one of the original clues you follow to try and find your parents when you get back to Hadia. Is like he was a blacksmith in the village of Jova. That's where I'm starting. It's the first area after the tutorial that you go to find his old shop.
Okay.
Modern members of the Vigil wear a dark black poncho for protection and are equipped with limbic weapons and a robotic drone to drop prisms into time loops. I sent the picture of what Remy looks like already. Ancient members of the Vigil wore chainmail hoods, like spooky eye masks, and used trained owls to drop prisms into time
Hell yeah,
loops,
that's cool.
which is so fucking cool. Now, there are quite a lot of cosmetics in game, which is very cool. Love it when a game gives you cosmetics. I don't know if you can unlock this, but you can find an ancient Vigil male poncho in game, and
It is
I'm just
very
like,
Illuminati, right?
yeah, it is, yeah, and it's so fucking
Helm and
cool.
coif worn by General Pentos Algeia, first of the Vigil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Owls dropping things off too. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that video where they set up a line of microphones and they have various birds fly over the microphones. And it is insane how quiet owls are compared to any other bird. Yeah.
This is my favorite cosmetic. I do poncho hood down, and the straight up, it's just called Quebec hat, and it is the Quebec fleur de lis hat that you can find. It's like behind a couple difficult enemies, so you can either unlock cosmetics as rewards to quests, difficult enemies, or just like some are just out in the environment. Great, love it. And then when the game came out, you couldn't change your outfit in the field. You had to go back to your home base, which is an APC you steal from the Vigil. You had to go in to change your clothes. But when I was playing today, I was just like, oh, fuck. Just a little quality of life patch came out at some point in the last few months. I could just change my hat whenever I could just put different hats on. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow, really is. We really are living in the future of 1993.
Yeah,
Change
exactly.
I could put on my
holy
despair
moly.
gear. I could put on my rage gear. I could put on my French gear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There is a rage, despair, terror, and ecstasy hat as well. So you can actually equip a hat that represents your favorite emotion in game. But my favorite emotion is, of course, French, obviously.
French.
Yes. I really wish. I hope this game does well enough for the devs. Fairly small. They're like their purpose is to make AA games. They're called Rogue Factor. They're like around the corner from Ubisoft here in Montreal. if they ever had the money to make DLC, bro, give me a fucking 9th century Vigil DLC where I have an owl and chainmail. It's so fucking cool. It's so fucking cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That was fun shit, man.
Yeah, I remember reading that, or like there is like an older dude named, I think, like something Brahm, who's like right behind the armor in the screenshot. He's like an older member of the Vigil who like gives you upgrades and rewards when you do side quests and shit. In my head, I either like dreamt this or made it up or maybe even read it in game. I think for some reason, I believe, and did not confirm this, did not fact check myself, I think he's like centuries old. And he's like the last of the Vigil.
Okay.
He's like inside the Vigil home base in like the Vissa Hills
And
or whatever like that.
do we know an in-canon reason why a Vigil member could live for hundreds of years? Is it just proximity to time? Time
Again,
drifts,
I
time
can't
warps,
even
what are they called?
confirm this. No one else is immortal in game or talked about. The immortality is never touched on. I just for some reason remember just being like, no, this old dude in the old Vigil base, I think is like 1,000 years old or something. Could have dreamt it. Don't know. Lore Boy's canon. Fucking prove me wrong, Rogue Factor.
I mean, yeah, I am so fine with mysteries in your world building too. If it's
100%.
just like, no, this guy's immortal and we're never gonna explain why, I'm also very,
Yeah.
very fine with that.
Yeah, I think he used to fight with a greatsword because a despair greatsword is like leaned up against the wall behind him, and he's like an older dude in a wheelchair with like the old man Argyle blanket on his lap. He's very cozy,
Oh,
and then gives you both passive and active relics. Yeah, exactly like Jamie snuggling up right now, keeping his gams warm.
yep.
So shortly after forging the limbic weapons, the Order began trying to organize politics around Hadia. So they were just like, it's time to do some Illuminati shit. Right? Haiti is a small country, closed borders mostly. Don't have the Illuminati can't get in. We're going to do it ourselves. So in the 730s, they assisted with dividing up the country into 4 provinces along religious lines. This has proven successful throughout history. I recommend we do this in every country on Earth. This will certainly not lead to brutal religious wars for the next 1,200 years.
Don't read a textbook. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. Don't read anything, actually, ever. Don't turn on the TV, nothing. So the Order chose 2 houses from the Palomist traditionalists and 2 from the Sabinian reformists. Tanya, the journalist, describes these 2 as comparable to Western conservatives and Protestants, respectively. So the reformists, there's a schism at some point that I'm not going to get into in this episode. That's the Setharism, Setharism Protestants, and then she does consider them Western conservatives now. But I'm fairly certain that they're the people doing the genocide in the 90s, whereas in the past it's really the Protestants that are the main cause of problems here. It kind of goes back, maybe it just goes back and forth. And maybe if I manage to unlock some of the other history articles, I'll do another episode about this if I can finish.
Maybe
the
it's like
collectibles,
the Setherists now have like retained power, so they're the ones writing the history books that say the Trey Parker fans were the bad guys in the past, but maybe it's always been the Setherists who were the
so
the bad
there
guys here.
is a thing that I intentionally skipped over because it is too complicated. One of the calamities is caused by the Setherist worshippers, the worshippers of the Eye of God, waging a holy war against the people who still worship Tear and Trey Parker. Later in history, it's like the Fourth or Fifth. Sorry,
libertarians.
Yeah, exactly. The libertarian genocide of 1310 is caused like the 3rd calamity or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. One of the Protestant devils was Lord Astor, who was not particularly interested in being one of 4 ruling lords, and he really kind of just saw himself as the sole ruler of Hadia. He did a little bit of politicking in the background here. So Lord Astor offered to marry his daughter, Fenello, to Lord Jahan's son, who was also a Sabinian. So this is on the same side, right? However, on the day of the wedding, Lord Astor and his men disguised themselves as Palomists, attacked the wedding, and killed everybody except Lord Astor's daughter, who conveniently managed to escape as a sole survivor of the massacre, right? Overcome with grief, Lord Jahan allied with Lord Astor and began the Second Reformist War. Again, skipped over the schism part. And I do not have any further information about the first one, like I said. The armies of Lord Aster and Jahan tore through Hadia, slaughtering anyone who stood in their way. The Order of the Eye just was horrified that one of the oligarchs that they'd put in place turned out to be a selfish warmonger and tried desperately to quell the violence and prevent another calamity. They were unfortunately too late. The Eye of God activated a second time, and time loops spread throughout the country once again. So at some point, they did figure out that like the Eye of God causes this whole thing to happen, and it just gets angry. And when there is intense enough violence, it will just repeat that over and over and over again and send out ghosts to punish the living, basically.
But I just love this idea that it's like it is clear, like it's being worshipped as a god. It clearly has godlike powers, and that's just gonna like create a bigger schism, right? Where it's like now you have the one side being like, "See, it is God. It can do these things." The other side's like, "But it's an evil god. We shouldn't worship it. It's causing
Yeah,
these terrible things to happen." And it's
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You know who doesn't
religion.
cause
Am I
any?
right?
Yeah, like you know who's never invaded, like who's never caused an invasion of ghosts and monsters? The two-headed fucking snake.
Yeah, exactly.
They are
Just straight up.
chilling, dude.
Yeah. Playing like Baldur's Gate 3 right now, and there's like a problem that I'm having. And I asked him, like, well, why, if this God wants us to do this, why don't we just get the God to do it themselves? Because, and then they're like, oh, AO doesn't want gods intervening with things because it usually causes more trouble than the initial problem. And it feels like the Eye of God
Is doing that,
it's
yeah.
just doing that. If it just did nothing,
Yeah.
everyone would get along better. Yeah.
I mean, like, I think a good analogy is like try solving problems for ants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not not necessarily an easy thing to interpret what their problems actually are. You might just see them start, like if you have an ant farm, you might just see them start killing each other one day. Be like, what's going on here? You know, and
Yeah.
like you splitting it up, you have no idea what kind of implications that's gonna have
Yeah.
on their little ant society, right?
Yeah. And the eye itself, it is never revealed to have intent of any kind. It's just when things get too violent, it's just like ghost time. That's it.
Yeah.
First time.
Ethan just says that. I put down my book that's in the style of For Dummies book. It's like solving problems for ants. Oh. No.
Chapter 1, ant intent. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Do they have a limbic system? Can we manipulate that? in some
Yeah.
capacity?
I thought we agreed we weren't gonna read any more textbooks.
True.
That's
Audiobooks.
2026, year of the illiteracy. Let's go. Let's go,
Let's
gamers.
go, baby. Yeah.
Give
Off
up
to a
on
great fucking
reading.
start.
Just talk to AI. Don't read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Get an AI girlfriend. You don't need to read.
Yeah.
Before Kyle and I dumped our conspiracy friend last fall, he will stop conversations and hold down his phone and just be like, "Hey, Grok," and then ask it a fucking question. And I was like, I understand why over time you have reverse learned and become stupider with age. I get it. It's because because you're just consulting an idiot robot and believing everything it tells you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It doesn't know the intent, right? It's just ask the orb, dude. The orb's just as good.
That's the orb.
Yeah. Rat's Guts. We get
That's
all
better.
the facts right every single time.
True.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm gonna carry
It's
on
all
with some
about
more facts that
reframing
I
your
definitely got
definition
right
of
here.
right.
Lord Aster is described as being furious when the second calamity starts because he was convinced that his enemies were just on the verge of surrender, but now everybody has this mutual enemy that they have to fight against. So he has to stop his fucking war that caused this problem in the first place. And he's like, I was so close, but then I caused ghosts, right? And they're tearing through the country once again. Haitian forces, however, excuse me, skipped over a very important part here. The other great houses were more level-headed or cowardly, I guess. Maybe they're a little bit of I wish I could remember the name of the prime minister. Oh, Neville Chamberlain, who was just like, no, Hitler can just take Poland and we'll surrender to him. It's fine. Like the guy who was replaced by Winston
Yeah.
Churchill, who
Churchill,
obviously stood up for him. Maybe they were just like, Lord Astor's a bit of a maniac. He can't live forever. Maybe we'll just outlast him. Or maybe they were cowards. They did end up surrendering to Lord Astor and crowning him as the sole ruler of Hadia in 773. Haitian forces are now fully armed with limbic weapons, and every time you kill a limbic enemy, you can harvest shards from its body. So it's very much you can just continue forging weapons using the resources you collect off the corpses.
Oh, so they're not closing the timers. They're farming now.
A
So
little bit.
can you
Yeah.
Can you use limbic weapons against people, or are they just is it just like a regular sword? Do rage
Y-
spells work against people? I know you said you can't do it in game, but like in canon?
I never read anything about a human being killed with a limbic weapon. You never do it. The person you get your first limbic weapon from in a cutscene, this lady who gets killed by a limbic entity, it just like punches its fist through her chest. You never see anybody get killed with a limbic weapon. Even some of the relics, like there is like a queen is assassinated. You can find her dagger, but it's like a silver dagger, stuff like that. Couldn't tell you. There is a section about limbic weapons that I didn't read too far into, and I'm missing collectibles from the section as well. So I'm gonna give you a maybe on that one.
Okay.
They just
Yeah,
crap
Lord
their
Boy's maybe.
pants. They get scared,
Lord.
or they fight you.
Or
Yeah,
get
exactly.
aroused.
Yeah. Can you smash open an ant farm with a limbic weapon? I think is a more important question. And then we can talk about whether they're dangerous to people. Hadean forces, now armed with limbic weapons, pushed back the creatures, while the Order worked to close the time loops with their JO crystals and their trained JO owls. So everybody's working on it. You do need to
No.
kill a...
Not jail owls.
Hey, you'll never hear me coming.
It's perfectly silent. Yeah, that's exactly what I
You'll
was
never
thinking.
hear me coming.
So they are all kind of working together. They do have a tyrant king. Sucks, but in the face of the ghost armies, everything's working out pretty well here. Rumors began to spread, however, after the end of the second calamity, that Lord Aster wanted to somehow train and weaponize the creatures from the time loops. This is also what Mr. Dagon is doing. There's a bunch of equipment set up around the Eye of God in the 90s when you get to it. That is because they are studying it and trying to harness its energy. And then in the final cutscene, the final interrogation cutscene with who I think is Mr. Dagon, the frog guy, he's just like, "Do you know what you stopped here? We were doing tests. We were trying to develop things." And he was just like, "I don't give a fuck about your tests, dude. There's fucking monsters everywhere. Like, I don't give a shit what you're trying to study," sort of thing. And you're arrested for interfering with the Eye of God at the end there. The Order of the Eye was absolutely not fucking having this at all. They embedded spies within Aster's advisors and councils and eventually had him assassinated in 793 AD. There was also a war that is waged that I believe causes the third calamity, where both of Lord Aster's children are kidnapped. There's like a Ministry of Cultural Supremacy is one of the levels, which is pretty cool. And there's like paintings, little history. It's basically like a propaganda museum. So again, with who Lord Aster is, I don't know how much of that is true, sort of thing. But it is a very interesting setting, especially given the politics of the region. I thought it was really cool to go to just like the now, of course, bombed out Ministry of Propaganda, basically, the Ministry of Culture. And then seeing it like after mobs have torn through it. There's still a couple of like ON people and a couple of civilians still in there. But the administrator, the head of the head of like when you walk into his office, he's been hanged above his desk. I'm like, damn, more crazy implied violence. And then you have to like solve a mystery in there for gameplay purposes. But yeah, the Order of the Eye.
Jack me off.
He was obsessed with Lord Aster and getting jacked off by owls.
All this
They're
propaganda
completely
is just
silent.
beautiful, busty owls. That's crazy.
Those big natural eyes just staring right at you, unblinking.
Like the whole top half of the torso can rotate 180, so like the big eyes and huge tits rotate all around his face backwards. Yeah, anyway, the Order had him assassinated because he was trying to weaponize the ghost armies. The game takes place during the 6th calamity, but everything in between will need to wait for another episode. After the 5th calamity, it was like 1,000 years of relative peace and stability in the region, which is why they were like in the 60s, like, okay, we'll start talking to the West and talking to the US and the ON in this case here. But yeah, the game starts 3 weeks after the beginning of the 6th calamity, which takes place during like a genocidal holy war, basically, where the two religious armies have gone through and just like started killing people. The first time you close is crazy. What causes it is always at the center. So you get to see it play over and over and over and over again, like the last 10 seconds of these people's lives. The first time you close in like these swamps is just like a sedan with 2 civilians in it who are killed by soldiers, basically. And that creates a time loop, and the ghosts are pouring out of that. But yeah, everything is in between there. There's tons and tons of history. Everything else in between will have to wait for another episode. I very much want to see if I can complete at least 2, because I think there's 6 collectible categories. I can't remember. And I've got 100% and I'm so close, but I want to at least finish a couple more, especially the Ancient Hadia one, and then maybe some about, there's like a conspiracy section, which I only have half done. So like a more modern political intrigue that happens prior to this, causing, obviously, all to the 6th calamity. But that's Hell
Cool.
Is Us. I loved it. I thought it was fucking great. And I've been your host, Peter O'Donohue. You can find me on Instagram at Lowboys Podcast, and you can find my book, The Black Frontier, linked below on Amazon. Printed to order, baby. Just whenever you want it, go get one.
If
Fellas.
you want to see me on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday, Lore Boy James. Been playing some Satisfactory, some Baldur's Gate. We did my Quebec driving test preparation, which I got it, guys. I passed. And now I just have to do.
Good.
I just have to do the driving part. It was fucking hectic. You have to get 8 questions right. They only make me redo the part that I failed already, and I can only get 3 wrong. I got 2 wrong in the first 3 questions. So I had to get 5 right in a row, and a couple of them were a little it was a little dodgy. I was very happy to walk out of there with a win. But anyways,
forklift certified, man.
Dude. Yeah.
What else should?
Lord Boy James on Twitch if you want to see some of that silly stuff. So thanks all you who helped me get my next step of my license. Even Ethan was on the stream this week, so you might even catch another boy from time to time. So, but that's me and Ethan.
Thanks so much for listening. If you like the show, consider leaving us a rating or review on your podcast app of choice. It really does help us continue to grow. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell everybody about us if you want to. It helps. We love you. If you want to kick us some money, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/theloreboys, where we talk about all sorts of stuff and our bonus content there about Jamie's driving exam, about movie and shows that we've watched and we would recommend, and scary Nazi monsters that people are summoning in various cartoons and such.
Dungeons and Dragons campaign. My secret theories on why my girlfriend's actually sick.
Yeah.
Here's a hint. It's not germs.
Yeah.
Might be just tummy trouble.
Yeah.
And if you don't trust Patreon, we do have a service which we always offer, Lower Boys Prime. Of course, we're this week we're asking for, pretty low price. We're just asking for your sketches of owls. Owls of all varieties and fits, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Honestly, if you get some schematics on how the owl could grasp a 4.5-inch cylinder, and maybe move that around a little bit.
Kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
think of
vertically, frankly.
just the neck of a beer bottle. If that makes sense. That'd be great. If we could
Like just
get
the neck of
all
a
your
red
pictures of
label.
that.
That'd be great.
Yeah. This owl could snatch a thimble from a mile up.
And I think that would constitute a lore
Lore
boy
boys.
Lore boys. Out.
out.